right, we talked about reasons to be excited about the Vikings' new coach, Kevin O'Connell. It's only fair we do a video about reasons you should be scared shitless about Kevin O'Connell. All right, welcome back to the One Bar and Lupagus show. I'm One Bar with Lupagus. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video here every damn day, talking Vikings. And this isn't meant to be a downer video, but there are some legitimate concerns about bringing in a young buck to the team, and we're going to talk about them.
Well, there is, and you already alluded to one of the big ones. He's young. He's inexperienced. This guy has no head coaching experience whatsoever. He didn't even call the plays in Los Angeles. So is he a leader of men? Can he call a good game? We don't know these things. So that is very scary when you look at Kevin O'Connell being the Vikings' next head coach.
Yeah, I mean, we got to be real. When you look at coaches, first-time coaches after being a coordinator, generally it does not pan out well. Yes, there are some that pan out well, but when you look at the guys, especially fired this year, a lot of them were first-time coaches after being a coordinator. So we got to be real. On the other side of that, a lot of them do pan out well. Not a lot. Some of them pan out well. So inexperience, it's going to be hot and heavy early and often, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't know. You don't know if he's going to succeed. You hope he does, but just as much as he could succeed, he could also fail. So not everybody's meant to be a head coach. Hopefully we found one of those guys who it's in his blood, it's in his DNA, and he's going to be here a long time. So, but at the same time, it might not be.
He's inexperienced, just like Lupagus in his early 30s, still inexperienced, looking out there and experimenting.
Not sure what that means.
So yes, inexperience is the easy one. We're going big, high risk, high reward. Another thing that is a little bit scary when it comes to Kevin O'Connell is coordinators. He has to nail his coordinators. I mean, they're going to be linked with him. He's got to come out hot and heavy, and the coordinator is going to be a big part of that.
Well, he's a new head coach. He's got to start his tree, and no tree is strong without good roots, and you got to have some good roots here. He's looking at Mike Pettin to be his defensive coordinator, supposedly. Again, I mean, he's got some head coaching experience, which is huge for this guy. So I think that's a smart move. Maybe his offensive coordinator. I was going to say
like an old man.
Old coordinator. I don't know. It came out weird. Maybe he'll have some head coaching experience as well. I don't know. We'll see where he goes with that. But I like the fact that he's looking at a guy who's been and done it before. That's going to help. But you look at who he brings in under him. He's got to have some exciting young guys who have new and interesting ideas to try on this offense. There's plenty of weapons to work with. So hopefully his staff is not just with guys full upside, but hopefully none of these guys are related to anybody else.
Yeah, we will see how that pans out. I mean, the defense coordinator especially is key, and the assistants along the defensive side of the ball, because Kevin O'Connell, I mean, the offensive coordinator doesn't scare me as much, because I think KOC is going to have a lot to say with that offense anyways. But from top to bottom, it's got to be tip effing top.
I thought you were going to say tits.
It's got to be tits to the top. So coordinators are key. What do we got for another one?
Well, another one, and this is probably what worries me the most, is Kevin O'Connell can still actually back out. I mean, it hasn't been signed yet. It's not a done deal. The team hasn't officially announced it. They got a Super Bowl coming up this week. If they win this game, and maybe he gets caught up in the motions, and he's like, God, we could be a dynasty for years. I want to be part of this. Sorry, Vikings, I'm staying in Los Angeles. That to me worries me the most about Mr. O'Connell.
O'Connell, that is worrisome. We've seen it in the past. We've seen it with other coaches that have been pretty much, they're going to be the next coach, and something happens where they back out. That's horrifying. That is horrifying thought.
I'm afraid of him pulling out.
Nah, never be afraid of that. Go with whatever is in your heart.
Thank you.
And he will go with whatever is in his heart, and hopefully it is not pulling out. But yeah, I'm a little more stressed out than I should be as far as him actually accepting the job. He did have some quotes today, basically saying, "Come that date, there could be some very exciting things that happen." I don't think he can actually officially say it. So at least he's saying the right things and at least alluding to it. So it made me feel a little bit better, but still very, very scared.
Yeah, it's horrifying.
The other thing that's horrifying, last one that scares us about old KOC is Harbaugh. I mean, we didn't offer the job to Harbaugh. So when the Vikings start off 0-2 to start off the year, everyone's going to be just clamoring. We should have hired Harbaugh. We'd be 2-0 if we had Harbaugh. Bah. He needs to put that shit behind him right off the bat, or that's all we're going to hear.
And I don't think it's going to affect him personally. It's going to piss us off. It's going to be something the media is going to talk about, something Twitter's going to explode with. It's going to be everywhere. But I don't think it's going to affect him personally. I don't think it's going to be anything that's going to be that he's going to be up at night about. But yeah, I mean, for us and for anybody else involved in the Vikings, the team, there's going to be a lot of that noise, a lot of that chatter going on. We should have hired Harbaugh. Why didn't we hire Harbaugh? Harbaugh would have had his team 6-0 right now. That's going to be there regardless, unless he has instant success and we're 5-1 out of the gate or something like that. But it's going to be there. He's going to be compared to Harbaugh when it comes to media. He's always going to be until he gets his team to a Super Bowl or gets his team with a winning record after like 3 seasons. But yeah, as a shadow that is going to loom large over him.
Yeah, or if Harbaugh starts off next year at Michigan like 1-6 or something, that'll help his case. But I promise I will not bring up the we should have went with Harbaugh unless he starts off like 0-9. If it gets to 0-9, I'll mention Harbaugh.
Not even that, but it depends like how they lose. If they're 0-9 and they're losing close games, they're fighting hard, and this is a young. Well, they tear this team down. It's like the Lions. If you tear this thing down, you have a bunch of young guys playing, a bunch of inexperienced guys, and you're fighting hard. You're playing hard. That's one thing. If you're getting your ass just kicked, blown out, these guys aren't looking interested. These guys are checking out mentally. There's fights on the sidelines. That's a whole nother story. So, 2 extremes there. Hopefully, we don't see the bad part of that happening.
Can we promise one thing?
You can promise me anything you want.
Don't ever compare us to the Lions again.
Well, just going from a young rebuild standpoint.
I just want to be very open and honest with you right now. I don't like when you compare us to the Lions.
Well, you know what? I actually think the Lions should be something else this year.
All right, that's really all that scares us. So when you look at the list, it's pretty valid. It's pretty fair. The root of the issue is he is young, and he's got to start off on a good foot. I mean, regardless of the record, we just need to see progress.
Well, I think he will. I mean, he won this interview. From what I was reading today, he won the job. He was the best candidate. He was the guy they wanted. He wowed them in his first interview, and he wowed him again. So he won the job. He beat Harbaugh.
Just like when you go on porn, just like when you go on a Pornhub.com, they nail it. They nail it every time, and he nailed it.
What are they nailing? Someone stuck?
No. Much worse. Let us know what scares you about Kevin O'Connell down in the comments. We'd love to see it. We'd love to hear it.
And you may not love hearing this, or maybe your missus might not love hearing this, but most lipsticks contain fish scales.